Hey everybody, my name's Seth, and today I want to talk about having Aquarius in your fourth house. With Aquarius in your fourth house, it's not the easiest, um, and it's not easy for different reasons compared to like its opposite, Leo in the fourth house. Um, the idea of competition actually um, sort of still comes from your parents, but it's not so much like you're competing with them. It's the fact that they kind of create a scenario where you need to compete with yourself or maybe with your siblings. Attention and praise has to be earned. Like there's no just getting it just for being you. Maybe that was early on, very very early on when you were a baby, when you were a toddler. Um, when you were really a child. But once you start to get into the age where you need to become yourself and you need to become an individual, it's time for you to start earning praise. And the prize for earning that praise is that they will go crazy and say, yes, you're the best, and then criticize you. And then tell you what you could have did better, and then tell you what you need to do, and then give you all of this sort of direction. Um, there are kind of a few different ways that the native, the Aquarius fourth house native, will react. Is that they'll either take this on and start to take on this mentality within themselves. So that's where you sort of get this borderline arrogance where they will do something and they are so proud of themselves for doing it, but internally they feel like they need to do better. So they will celebrate their feats, but not really soak in the praise from others. Where you'll feel as if, well, like, wow, they're arrogant, they don't take a compliment, blah 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 blah. But it's only because they're only happy because they did it, but now they want to do better. Their mission is now set because their parents always put it on them to be happy for a second, but then point out the flaws, make it better, make it more unique. Um, Another way they could take this on is actually by radically going in another direction, going against their parents, going against this theme. And that's where you find arrogance again, where it's like, I refuse to criticize myself because I should just be happy with what I did. Look at what I did. Like, this is amazing. Like, stop criticizing me. Stop making me feel like it needs to be better. This is what I'm producing. This is me. And then you sort of get that pride factor mixed in there. And it's a pride factor with the other scenario as well, where it's like, well, I need to do better for me. There's between Leo and Aquarius, there is a pride factor. Neither of them are necessarily selfish, even though both kind of get that connotation. But I think both of them are sort of prideful. A Leo is considered selfish because they want everything for themselves and they kind of come first. A healthy Leo, you will understand how it's healthy to put yourself first. Um, and then you see how they're not very selfish, they're just very me oriented. And Aquarius is kind of the same way, but instead of focusing on their own needs, or well, really, instead of focusing on their own wants, they focus on their own goals. Aquarius has goals, Aquarius has things that they want to do, Aquarius has thoughts that they want to manifest, and that's what they're paying attention to. So their focuses come first. And they put their ideas first, and they put their mentality first, and they put their integrity first before you. So sometimes it may seem a little bit selfish that like they'll give you advice and it seems like the advice you're giving me only works for you, and it kind of seems like the stuff you're giving me is stuff that you would want, and it kind of just really seems like at the end of the day you only pay attention to you, and that might be true, but a healthy Aquarius, you can see how it is healthy to put your focuses first, to prioritize your things the way that they need to be prioritized for you. So either way, it's not so much of the selfish thing, but it's not far from it either. So there's a thin line between selfishness and just healthy focus. Um, and your parents will instill that in you, and you will have to kind of tread that line, and it will constantly be something that you will be reminded of, that sometimes you are considered selfish and sometimes you might just really feel selfish about your focuses, your priorities, and what you want to get out of life. When it comes to your goals and your ideas and what you want out of the future, your parents had a big hand in that as well because they always pushed you to strive farther, whether that be through the criticizing or whether that be just through conversation, the idea of communication. Your parents instilled in you just through their own attitudes and you watching them in your home environment that things can get better and that things need to get better. And it could be that your house was just so unstable sometimes that you realize things need to get better, or the fact that you had conversations with your parents and they instilled these ideas in you that this is the world and let me tell you early what is out there. And then you kind of get this concept, and then it gives you this drive to learn more. But either way, you will get this drive, whether that be through unpredictability within your home or whether that be through your parents just really focusing on your intelligence and really intelligence instead of like logic or wit. The idea of putting together the macro and the micro and understanding the world in a certain way. That's intelligence. Um, so you can kind of see that in that Aquarian air and that idea of really getting very into mentality, getting very mental, getting very into how can my thoughts become real and what do my thoughts mean and what do your thoughts mean and what is going on around me. And I want to take stock of how everything is working around me. And I want to succeed. I want to win. I want to be on top and I want to help everyone else get to where I plan on being. Because it seems like they're all lost and I'm not. So your upbringing will you will end up with this sort of mentality, especially the more planets in Aquarius that you have um, with this placement. So once you actually get into this mode and it's your upbringing and it's your family and it's your close friends, you will start to have to go into the outside world. You will start having to engage in people who don't have to like you, who don't love you for just being who you are. You will have to deal with the outside world, strangers, acquaintances, and you're gonna be put in your place very quickly because people are gonna think you're crazy. People are gonna think you're weird. People are gonna think you're kind of boring sometimes, and they're not going to stand for your sort of your pushy above thinking ways where people you may really, especially when you go into the outside world, you're going to run into a lot of people who do not think on the same level as you and they are not as evolved when it comes to mentality as you. And they're not going to appreciate your bullshit. They're not going to appreciate your big ideas. You're not going to appreciate your schemes. They're not going to appreciate what you want to do for your life. They're not going to care. A lot of people are just not going to care what you have to say or what you have to do or anything that's going on with you. They don't give a fuck. And it's going to be rough. And you're going to have to learn to start presenting yourself in a way that gives you the best chances of accumulating useful resources. And when I say useful resources, I'm talking about acquaintances, I'm talking about people, I'm talking about different points of view, and getting the exposure to different points of view. This is where the Leo will kick in. This is where you'll learn that there's another side to this energy, and I have to try to use it. Because if I don't, I'm not going to succeed. I need to learn to start selling my ideas. I need to learn to start selling my persona. I need to learn to start dazzling people and being entertaining and not just all cut and dry and facts and thinking and this is my blueprint. I need to go farther than that. I actually have to build the model, go farther than the blueprint, build the model, and then present that to people so they can say ooh and ah and not look at a whole bunch of lines on blue paper and think it's just confusing and lose interest. You have more work to do. You have more to do to get to a place where you can entertain and captivate people and really get your ideas sold to other people. So now your fourth house is really being engaged now because you have more work to do. And then on top of that, you suddenly become the boss of your own life, the boss of your own ideas. You become a marketer. Now you have to think about your ideas and actually either dumb them down or just really manipulate them to make sure that they hit a certain target demographic, the people who surround you, the people that you want help from. You're going to have to start to pay attention to those things and get a little bit more people oriented and get a little bit more entertainment oriented. And the balance between these two houses is not losing yourself, not losing your individuality even though you need to be able to be popular. You need to be able to sell. So that's when you can really see this persona start to blossom. And then when people are looking from the outside and you're doing this work and you're no longer displaying blueprints, you're displaying displays and you're displaying models of what you want to get done and what your ideas are, they assume this is just who you are. Like, this is the person that works with models. This is the person that's just entertaining, and he or she's really funny, and they seem to really sell themselves well, and they're so captivating and they're so engaging, and I just really want to help them out, and this seems like the right person to follow, and I just want to tell everybody about what they told me, and I want to give them attention, and I want to cultivate attention for them because they just seem like the type of person that is a bright star. You've had to manifest that. They don't understand that. They don't see that. They don't really care about everything else. They just see the bright star that you've become. But they don't see that when you get home, you're just a regular, everyday person who sits down and works, who sits down and contemplates and has to build these things. Stars don't build themselves. People with Aquarius in the fourth house do it. They go home and they build these things. And then they present them to the world, and the world, only thing the world cares about is what are you holding in your hands. And that's my interpretation. That's my interpretation of Aquarius in the fourth house. So hopefully this is helpful. If you guys can let me know if you agree or disagree and what's going on with that. And yeah, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, or like my page, whatever, all that good stuff. I'm really actually getting a good amount of subscribers. You guys are really like engaging me on YouTube, and I really appreciate it. I like it being able to talk to you guys and get a view on who I'm talking to and what's going on out there. So I really like that. So keep it up, you guys, and thanks for the support. And yeah, thanks for watching.